Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the DoubleClutch.ca podcast. I'm your host Nick, managing editor of DoubleClutch.ca, and I'm joined in studio by our regular crew. We got Imran and Nathan in studio, plus Rush.
And for those who might not be aware, we've been running DoubleClutch.ca for the better part of about 10 years, more or less as an excuse to give ourselves a reason to play with the latest and greatest in the car world. What do we got going on this week, Nick?
Well, this week I was really looking forward to my press car, actually. I know it's stupid to believe, but I got the 2024 Chevy Trax this week. And coming into it, I thought this would have been a Toyota Prius style glow up in the sense that, you know, the last Chevy Trax is, how could we put this diplomatically?
Uninspired.
Uninspired. And left a lot of room on the table for improvement. And when the 2024 Trax was revealed, I was kind of looking forward to it. You know, it's a lot more stylish than before, inside and out. It's bigger. And it's still pretty good value. But for the most part, it kind of lived up to my expectations, but it still kind of missed the mark in a couple of ways.
Okay, what kind of floors me the most about this Trax that we had is that you said you were looking forward to it. And
just that part? That part.
No, not even that. It's not even that. But, like, John also dibsed it. John wanted it, too. Like, a few of you wanted to play with this thing.
Because it looks cool.
It looks great.
Looks
like,
good.
it actually knocked the design out of the park. The thing looks fantastic.
And
Rush is not.
I'm sorry. I'm lost here.
For an inexpensive, like, whatever family crossover thing, it is a good-looking, inexpensive, whatever family crossover
that's
thing.
the thing.
You know, it's kind of mid. Like, it's whatever.
It is kind of whatever, but they're all kind of whatever. And in the league of
so then
whatever,
if they're
it's,
all
it's
whatever.
like, it's pretty picante whatever.
Can we contextualize this? Because Nick and I just went for a ride in the Trax, and he actually asked me after I drove it what I thought about it. But I'll let Nick give his opinions on the car itself. But the price point was not what I had expected.
yes.
So what were you thinking?
I said 41.
Really?
40 for a Trax? Are you so out of touch that you have no idea what's going on?
Yeah, money's just a figment of our imagination.
Maybe that's just all of us. Because remember when Civic was like 15 grand and not 28 or whatever?
Yeah, so sorry to cut you off. My whole, like, a Civic Sport Touring, we've talked about this many times.
Yeah.
It's $38,000. That's like my barometer.
Yeah.
So I just don't expect many cars to
So
be
maybe you're
cheaper
actually just well
than
adjusted.
that. Yeah.
And all of us
so.
are crazy. Because I thought that thing was like 12 grand. The Trax I'm talking about. I was like, there's no way this thing could be like more than $12,999. Like, $995.
Bro, like a 2012 Chevy Spark or Sonic was 12 grand.
You're right.
Yeah, that's how much this thing should be.
This thing is like more than 8 times the size, despite still being
8
so
times the
compact.
car. It's much newer.
Maybe I saw it from across the parking lot. So maybe I was like, what's that little thing over there?
It is still little. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't look like a hatchback crossover-y thing as much as it looks like kind of like a smashed hatchback on stilts. Like, it's a very exaggerated shape that has like a high-ish floor and a low roof. And like it's a cool shape, but like I find for me like that shape makes it's a very claustrophobic place to sit for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I found, so this week we also have the new 24 Hyundai Kona N line, so it's a great point of comparison for the Trax RS because they're both metallic red by raw force of coincidence.
Yep.
They're both subcompact crossovers. They're both in the same category. They're both roughly the same-ish price point, and they're both the faux sporty versions. And I found the Kona was like more contentiously styled, but better use of space, better greenhouse, much more bright area. I thought it was a more interesting cabin.
So as a regular people car, it did the regular people things good.
But so does the Trax.
But you're saying in comparison, that's the thing. Like for people that are going to go out and buy a Trax, you're going to be worried about interior space, like and comfort. Like that's going to be pretty high on the
list. But something that Nick brought up earlier today when we were going over this was that the Trax is like $6,000 cheaper.
But yeah.
This is in a realm where $6,000 is like 25% the cost.
Yeah, which is a lot.
So $6,000 because of options or because of what?
Well, because the Kona has more stuff on it. Like, so it has like a 4-cylinder versus a 3-cylinder. It has power,
hang on,
like a power
hold
seat.
Up, a 3-cylinder.
Yeah,
It is
so-
a 3-cylinder motor.
1.2.
It's got the 1.2
Motor?
liter turbo 3-cylinder and a 6-speed automatic transmission.
It's a 6-speed in 2023.
In 2020.
Are you sure not 60 speeds?
A 6-speed.
6?
Yeah.
That's where the $6,000 went.
It's not. I mean, it's not a CVT.
It's not a CVT, but no, the Kona's got like the new Kia Hyundai corporate like 8-speed, which is actually great.
Hang on, so you're saying that the Trax was how much percent cheaper versus the Kona?
It's like 25 to 30% cheaper.
But it's missing 25% of the cylinders.
Bingo.
So like it's missing stuff. Like it's it's cheaper because it's not a good car. Sorry, not as good of a car.
Not as contented.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm in the best place to discuss this because like I drove it around the block yesterday. I was in a foul mood, so I kind of hated it. But like I recognize that that's probably an unfair take, and I haven't driven it since. It is a good-looking little car. I like GMs. I like the way they drive in general.
They're not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a basicness to it.
Yeah.
Like there's the engine I was telling Nick off mic was
I'm sorry. I think we got off tangent.
It's very 3-cylinder thrashy. Like it's driving the Kona in comparison felt like leagues ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Kona feels like a lot more car because it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Because the previous generation Trax was uninspired, as Nathan so diplomatically put it, this new one is just it's a massive improvement in pretty much every possible way compared to the previous one. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you can still get it for under $30,000, that is a very
because they started like 25, I think.
They do. I still think the sweet spot. I think the sweet spot of the lineup is the LT. So that still gets you stuff like smart key, heated seats, heated steering wheel.
Yeah, like what we've come to consider as like standard features.
Yeah,
really.
like non-negotiables in
this
economy. Yeah.
And that's about that starts at I want to say it's 26 or 28.
I think when you were looking at it earlier. I think it was 26 for the 1RS and 28 for the LT, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
And that gets you like most of the things.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good value considering what you get, and it's a decent looking NPC mobile too.
It does. You know what? I'll give it that. It looks great. Like the 19s look good. It's got a really cool shape. I like the thing. And I like the look of the thing.
But like, do when you can get this for under $30,000, does the target buyer really care about it being not fast and less than refined and having slightly more hard touch plastics than people like us?
I mean, the hard touch plastics that's not so much that stuff.
That's super forgivable at
but
this
like
price point.
It's if it's gonna be grumbly and stuff, like people are gonna worry about that. Like people don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that would turn me off is just like it just felt cramped. It felt claustrophobic. It felt small. Like it just like the way the dashboard is laid out, it's very like in your face, and I could not stand sitting in it personally.
Yeah, but like okay, so the Kona, like priced as it is, the what we have right now is not really a direct competitor. Is there?
But the thing is, you can spec a Kona to be a direct competitor, and you still get an extra cylinder, and you still get the more the Ioniq style dashboard that's really like futuristic.
You may get an extra cylinder in the Kona, but for $30,000, you're in a mid-spec preferred. If memory serves me right, I looked this up. You're in a mid-spec preferred. You have the normally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder, and you're still dealing with like 140, 150 horsepower and about the same level of torque.
Which is still more than the Trax.
More horsepower than the Trax, but the Trax does have more torque than the 2-liter in the Kona.
But fewer gears to move it through.
None gears to move it through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got nothing to say about this Trax. I'm just completely uninterested. I'm sorry. Like, I just looked at it and I was like, whatever. I got a question for you, actually, though. Okay, so the last generation of small GMs that I remember growing up, like the Sonic, I think they called it.
Yeah.
The one with the weird motorcycle dashboard. Yep. What was that?
Yeah. I think it was Spark, Sonic. I always get the two mixed up. I think the Spark was a sedan.
It was
the Sonic was the hatch or something like that. The Sonic, yeah.
Okay, all these little GMs that we've seen, they all felt like they were the European counterparts or whatever brought over here.
They were South Korea. They were Daewoo's.
So what it was they were transplants, right? Like they were brought over here just to sell as cheap little cars that you can use for however long and then get rid of. The problem is we've seen them age out to a point where reliability has become like an issue. Like I know on like the Turbo 4s, like what were we doing for a long time there? Oil coolers and stuff like that. Like there was a lot of stuff that actually went wrong in them. Okay, and then there's perceived quality. So like when you get in the Trax versus the Kona, which one feels better?
Kona
for sure.
Kona.
Okay,
yeah.
so if you're spending, you can spec them the same way, price wise, and maybe get a little bit more here or there. If people are worried about price, you can get both of them for around the same price.
Yeah.
If the Kona feels better and it's offered with probably a better warranty, wouldn't you care more about that? Like I don't know. I'm just. For people that actually want to keep a car for a long time, like what actually matters for you? I don't even know anymore. Like it's bigger, it looks better. I think the Kona's gonna age better, personally.
I mean, if we're looking at perceived reliability, don't Hyundais that are just a few years old with the same
Yeah, they have their shaky
roughly
issues
the same
too.
engines have?
Yeah.
The problem is that like everything these days is built to be so
Disposable. Yeah.
Like everything is just such a here and now, like gimmicky, flashy, have tech right now.
But I feel like
throwaway product like your phone.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. Like I kind of just that's what makes me lose interest in these things so much. It's like nothing feels like it's a good value anymore. Like okay, the Civic. Even with like the Civic, it's like if you get the 2-liter, okay, like it's not a bad engine. But then the 1.5 for a long time was having these fuel dilution issues. Like they sorted them out, whatever. But it just feels like they've gone away from whatever made the Civic so popular, which was like this quality vehicle you could buy for a price point and get around and not worry about it. Versus like the Trax, like I just feel like looking at it, I'm like all of this like gloss black plastic and stuff like that. Like I don't know, it just looks kind of cheap to me. I'm like,
I totally get
what a like chintzy little thing that like you're gonna buy because oh my god, it's a nice new car, and then it just be like crap in 3 years. Like that's what bothers me so much about these cheap cars. Like they feel so like. Like what's the point?
Yeah, well, like we brought this up on air before about like the disposability of modern cars, like something like made in the '80s, okay, dated, but still looked semi-relevant 10 years after the fact.
Exactly.
Whereas just like an old phone, a 4-year-old phone feels ancient, like an unusable ancient piece of garbage. Whereas say like a Nokia flip phone still functions as a phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like by not trying to do so much, but by not trying to cram so much shit into something. And just sticking to one thing and doing it pretty okay, it works. And it feels less dated than something trying to do everything badly.
I mean, I think for one, like, this is more of a societal conversation about hyperstimulation.
Yeah.
For one. And
consume.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I think,
like,
yeah, and that's what it is. And every industry is into this, right? The car manufacturers are not thinking, how do we get someone to keep this car for 10 years? Which they might have been thinking earlier, but now it's like, how do we get them into the next car? How do we get them into the next car, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be like, what's the new piano black?
Yeah,
what's
and like that's always been the
right?
thing.
Like,
I just find that like it's a race for more content, as with anything content.
Yeah.
Like even our own site, content. All media is content, just more content, more stuff, more stimulation.
But I think that's why like
consume.
Like recently, like I felt so disconnected with cars in general because I'm just like. Oh my god, like, oh, like, they put another, like, strip of LEDs in this, like, BMW. As much as I love BMWs, it's like, oh, gaudy, tacky.
Yeah, neat, like...
Oh my god, look at this Mercedes S-Class. It looks super, super tacky. Like, what the heck is going on here? And I'm just like, whatever, I'm over it.
It's just a whole bunch of, like, glossy, showy, overstyled, overstyled.
The overstyled.
And over-contented.
And the tacky
except when you get to Mazda.
Ah.
Yeah, and you know what? And here's the thing.
Yes.
Actually,
it's a segue.
Yeah.
So
there we
That's
go.
a hell of a segue.
There we go.
That's what you had last week.
Mazda actually does that well. It's like
Mazda's great at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. So I had the CX-30 last week, turbo, and like, holy shit, is that a good little car?
They're great.
Like,
they're fantastic.
Yeah, it's just, and for one, when it comes to the whole gimmick thing, like their only gimmick that I saw in that car, which I loved, was the fact that their LEDs fade in and out like the old incandescent bulbs. And that's just so cool.
I wouldn't call it a gimmick. That's attention to detail.
Yeah,
that's a subtle, nice thing.
That and their paint. Solar Red specifically. Yeah, Mazda's gimmick is like Solar, which to be fair is like
but like,
but it's everlasting. They've had that for quite some time
Yeah.
now, right? Like it's,
But that's what I mean. Like, and the Mazdas are kind of not exciting to me, but I'm like every single time I see one, I'm like, oh, good choice. It's like you've bought a car because it's built well and it's nice and it's simple and it does its job very well.
Yeah, and
not
it drives
because,
well and looks great.
Yeah, it's got like an extra 15th like speaker rammed up like the seat just to make you feel special. Like I don't know, like you know what I'm saying? Like
the seat.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, the CX-30, like the interior, like most new Mazdas, very simplistic. Like
but they feel personally, I feel like they're put together pretty well. Like, and you
Yeah.
can feel it. Like, even in the materials quality, like, okay, like we got like hard touch plastics here and there, but like overall quality just feels like, okay, like someone paid attention when they're putting this thing together because they want this vehicle to be around in 3 years.
Yeah,
totally.
relevant, and it's cohesive is the big thing. Like there isn't like matte here, different matte here, glossier, metallic here, like it's just it's
No, it's like it's simple. It's elegant in its simplicity. And I loved that thing. It was 42,000, I think.
Tell us about the spec, like
it was the GT turbo, so it's 250 horsepower in this thing.
Doesn't feel like that, does it?
On 93 octane.
No, on 93, and 320 pound-feet of torque.
That's pretty good.
Woo!
And like I filled it up with like 94.
Yeah, so we talked about this. So when I spoke to you, it was on cheapy gas, and then you filled it up, and
and it was fantastic.
Comes alive, yeah.
Like, it was honestly, even on regular, it was good.
That's good on regular, but like with like the jungle juice in it.
But
yeah.
But it was honestly, like, I was quite surprised. I was telling Nick off mic, was like Mazda seems so close to being able to bring out a Mazdaspeed product, because this thing, in the absence of a Mazdaspeed product, I'm not saying it's like, a competitor to like a hot hatch or something like that, but it's fun enough. The suspension is sporty enough. The engine's great. The transmission's a little, we were talking about the six-speed
auto.
It's a little dated, but it works.
Yeah, but what I was talking about before was that the 6-speed, it's a letdown because everything else in the car is so good. And it's almost like they created their own problem, because if the engine wasn't as good, if the chassis wasn't as good, you wouldn't care so much that it's just an older 6-speed. But because those things are great, you're like, what would this thing be like with a faster, shorter gearing, a better transmission?
Well, but I'm just going to stop you right there. So, like, here's the thing. You've gotten to the point where a car is so well done and executed that the only gimmick or the only frustration that you have with it is, the transmission could be a little bit better. Actual tangible thing that they can work on, and they probably will fix. Like
they have fixed on the CX-90. They have a new 8-speed.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I didn't really like the 8-speed auto in the CX-90 GT.
Well, because it's a weird auto. Because I can't remember the exact tech behind it, but it's not a traditional auto.
I almost prefer the 6-speed box over the new 8-speed.
I think the 8-speed. I can't remember the exact tech behind it. I think it's kind of a dual clutch sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's a torque converter and kind of like an automated manual sort of thing. So I think it has like a clutch and a torque converter, if my memory serves. Something like, you know what? You guys talk. I'm gonna look this up.
You could feel it. You could really feel the downshifts when you would decelerate.
So is
like
that
a little tiny bit herky jerky, which I wouldn't really expect.
I'm sorry, did you just say de-accelerate?
Decelerate.
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 You also said herky jerky.
Yeah.
Herky jerky.
No, but he said de-accelerate.
He did say de-accelerate.
Did I?
I did hear that.
Decelerate.
You
I was going to let him get away with it.
Well, clearly I can't fucking talk.
But look, on a CX-90, that's meant to be like a luxury SUV.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cool. I mean, not great. But if that thing found its way into a CX-30 that's meant to be this peppy little, fun little thing,
Crossover
the downshifts are a little clunky. If they were faster, I'd take that trade-off.
That's fair.
All I'm saying is simplicity isn't always a terrible thing. And I'm not saying, simplify everything by like putting a black dashboard in something and then making a screen. But what I am saying is, if you have like a car that's done well and it's simple and it's a good car, there's something to be said about it. It's not just flashy, body panels and spoilers. Speaking of spoilers, have you seen the one was it on the Kona or the? Like I looked over, I was like, oh God's sakes, like really? So what are they doing?
This is the same bone. This was the same complaint I had when I did the Kona launch a couple months ago. From the back, it looks like a Kona N, which is kind of a tease because it's not a full Kona N.
You're doing too much.
Yeah, it's kind of as good as a new Kona is. It's a bit overstyled for its own good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, stop. Just relax. Like, make it simple. Make it elegant.
No sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports.
And I feel like that's always the mentality. It's like, what if we just more? What if we just put an extra 8 gears in it? Like 18-speed auto? Yeah,
it needs more lines. It needs more ground effects. More just random slashes and creases. Bro, it needs more.
More LEDs.
More LEDs. Holy shit, it needs more LEDs.
Yeah,
Black wheels.
Actually, you know what? Let's not shit talk Hyundai on this particular front because that thing has one thin strip of LEDs on the front and rear, and that's it.
No, yeah, the Kona like looks good. It's just a little overstyled. Like, why? It's a little like crappy little car. Like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
because you got to differentiate.
From
right?
what?
I don't know everything else, but the thing is, it's all a content race. Just more, and no one's got the balls to come out with something simple and plain, except maybe Mazda.
Yeah.
What about the Hondas?
Honda's
Honda's
pretty
making
good.
good stuff.
They've tightened up
Like the new Civic is one of my favorite cars
they're
because
great.
it's just simple and it's like, oh my god, I can get in it. It's quiet. It's comfortable. It just does the car thing really well. Like, there's no like frills, in a good way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they forgot to put this in. It's like, no, like they've left out all of the excess
They forgot.
for you to.
Oh yeah, Tim forgot to put that on.
Yeah. No, like, I don't know. It just feels good.
No, you're right. And the thing is, like, we have the luxury of being able to drive so many of these different cars where most of us are coming to the same conclusion that more isn't always better.
Yeah, less is more.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So not everybody has that. So it's easy for someone walking into a dealership and I'm looking for a car and it has flashy lights and the M badge lights up and this does this and this and that and right? So I think people get drawn to that.
Definitely.
And it's working.
I could see why they're doing it, but I just feel like overall, like, there's got to be a point where that stops working, and I hope that's soon.
I think the thing is that there's like just a race to have like more than the next guy. More stuff, more styling, more features, more shit, more shit to put on a piece of paper.
With the X5, like like all the new M's, it's like, okay, well, you need to have a comp because the other guy's doing it. So like now we're just gonna ruin this car by adding more
stuff.
I almost think it's impressive that BMW still hasn't come out with an X7 M competition or whatever.
Oh, just you wait.
Because the M60 now is the M, but we'll get to that. But I think like when the biggest thing that kind of shocks me is that like when you look at adjusted for inflation, the cost of cars has gone down. And especially when you consider the amount of shit in the average car, the cost of a car has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like they've actually become like a screaming value, which I know is a ridiculous thing to say when an average transaction price for a car is $51,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. But with this in mind, I feel like someone could make a car that was focused on being inexpensive, simple, inexpensive, but then the other problem is that like no one's going to want it because Mitsubishi tried to do it with the Mirage and no one wanted it.
GM tried to do it with the Spark.
Yeah, because no one wants these things because if they want a cheap car, they buy a used car. And so now like used is just an arms race of having more shit. That's one, and two. What the fuck was I talking about?
I mean, I don't know. I just like generally speaking, Mitsubishi isn't usually the answer. That's all.
It's not the answer.
Everyone, go out right now and buy Mirage.
But the thing is, like, that's the last example where someone tried to do it. Nissan was doing it with the Micra, which is a great little car.
Right.
But like an honest to god cheap little car, like you could do it. But the issue is that like it's also kind of being legislated out. Like with the amount of safety things that are required, like traction control is mandatory. Backup cameras are mandatory.
Oh my god! Speaking of backup cameras, I was actually going there with that. What was it, the Mirage or the Micra that it was like stuck on? Like you can clearly tell on the back of the car, they're like, "Oh my god, we forgot this thing. Like, where do we put it?" And there was like, "Okay, just stick it in the middle somewhere." And they put this huge backup camera, and you're like, "Oh."
The Micra was like that too.
I think it was the Micra, yeah. And I was like, "Geez, this is bad."
I like
no, I
that
think it
little
was
car.
both. It was both the Mirage and the Micra, which both had like these like growths on the tailgate.
I think they both talk to each other like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I don't know. Just stick it on. Okay, cool. We'll do the same. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because the Micra was a car that you could walk into a brand new dealership and hand somebody $10,000 and walk out with a brand new car
with a warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying. No one wants those simple cars because they all want all the frills.
Yeah.
So I'm wrong.
The cheap cars have become Chevy Traxes.
Yeah.
Which
so
are
I'm just waiting for someone else to try it again. Like whether it be Mazda or Toyota.
But what about
something
like, in between, like the Civic or the Mazdas that have like enough features?
It's called a Chevy Trax.
That's not in between.
No, that's not in between. That's
no, because that's the one extreme where it's got all like these random frills that you don't need.
It's styled to look cool.
But it's not. It's a freaking Trax.
It's like that stamping, that casting costs money, right? There's money in that.
That's
you
what
can
I'm
make
saying.
something with a simple shape. What?
Oh. Like no, it's just the fact that you said there's money in that, and that's like one of your favorite catch terms. I'm sorry.
Famous last words.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but there's money left on the table where you could put that into, I don't know, building a better car with better quality.
How do you sell longevity, though? And then how do you sell longevity again?
Well, Toyota's been doing it, where they built really good cars a long time ago. Now they built crap.
That's the thing, and look at how often they get dogged for making boring last generation cars.
Because they're boring last generation, and
they're
they're
making
not
great
reliable.
stuff now, but they've been behind for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
There's no winning, is there?
No, there isn't. We're always going to bitch about this, so forget it.
Yeah.
And speaking of forget it, I didn't forget. So I looked up this CX-90. So they made a new 8-speed. It is a wet clutch kind of style, so it's sort of a DCT, but not quite.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't have a torque converter, and they've used their mild hybrid system that's standard on those engines to kind of augment the start-stop, or sort of augment the launching in lieu of a torque converter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
See, Mazda does
And
cool
like
stuff.
they did it
even
that
if they
way
don't get it right.
because like well,
But the whole Sky Active thing, like, that was really good tech in a way that was like, okay, let's push the envelope
this
with
is
like
actually
efficiency.
good. This is
like,
good
yeah.
engineering.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, not like, I don't know, stick another screen in it.
Bigger screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So, like, Mazda just is one of those companies that is run by a bunch of engineers, like, and a bunch of enthusiasts.
A bunch of people that
and they've
care.
always just done their own thing.
Yeah,
Like, forget focus groups, forget this. We're just gonna do this.
yeah.
This works.
We're gonna try it.
What a great
And, like
little
they
car.
did the transmission because they tried to outsource it and no one could hit their targets. Like, all right, so we did it this way because it's more efficient, more direct, and smaller.
Yeah.
So we can put it in other shit.
Yeah. Okay.
And the ZF8's really expensive.
So oh wait, hang on. What happened to ZF8 this week? Last week?
Last week. Nathan was in the
Nathan
X7
was in
last week.
yet another BMW SUV because they make the most fantastic cars.
I will have you know, sir, I am a fancy boy. I had 2 ZF8s last week.
Oh,
What? What'd you have?
The 300C.
Oh,
Okay, let's do the X7
yeah.
first.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the X7 first. Let's get it out of the way. Great car.
Yeah, let's get that thing out of the way.
Blue.
It was very blue. It was a spectacular shade of blue.
Freaking fantastic.
Well, you know, I feel like I'm hogging the mic. Nick, you had the thing for the weekend.
I did. Mike, okay. Why does a 3-row SUV boogie as well as that thing
That is
does?
by
That thing was
approximately
fucking-
5 billion miles the best handling, best driving 3-row in the
Absolutely.
universe.
Hang on. Pause.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
1 second. You said 3-row SUV and boogie. I remember saying on the podcast something about 3-row SUV and tossable. Was this the same X7 or was this a different SUV that we're talking about? That was tossable?
No, I think were we talking about the X5M?
X5M, I think we were talking about the
BMW
top,
does it again.
Yeah, it wasn't a 3-row, but wasn't a 3-row, but you could toss it. Right? It was an SUV that could drift.
Oh,
like,
it could
that's
rotate.
wacky.
Yes. Oh, yo, BMW, please sponsor us. Anyways, yeah, the X7.
Yeah. I did find I found the automated lane change assist maybe a bit too
Perfect.
not perfect.
Too excellent to your liking.
No, it.
You didn't like the fact that it's signaled as a BMW?
Yeah, and it changed lanes about as well as most BMW drivers would. It was kind of abrupt.
Okay, actually,
Well,
'cause,
it's
like,
trying to replicate the real thing.
actually, maybe this speaks to me. I thought it was fine. I never had any issues with
But
it.
yeah,
'Cause,
because you're not supposed to take 8 years changing lanes like
well, that's
most
the thing.
people
You're not
do.
supposed to meander. You're supposed to all right,
Do
we're
it.
coming over now. Like,
I don't know. I felt it was. I felt it was abrupt, especially compared to what Mercedes typically does with their lane change assist.
Don't disrespect BMW by bringing Mercedes in the
Wow.
game. Excuse me? Get the heck out of here. Oh, Mercedes did it better.
But wait,
Anyways, look, all I'm saying is different manufacturers do it differently. A little abrupt is not bad. Especially for self-driving tech, like whatever. As long as it gets the job done and does it safely.
yeah. But speaking of self-driving tech, so did you actually check out the Drive Assist Plus on that thing?
Did that have it?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Yep.
Fucking spectacular.
Oh my god, it's amazing. So here's the thing. So like my first press vehicle that had it was the X6 M60i, and it had like a separate little toggle in
Yes.
the drive menu
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
for Drive Assist. So it would say Drive Assist ready, and then you hit the button and,
Yep.
and it sets
And
it
it
up.
does it thing.
On the
Next
new
time,
ones,
automatically.
yes, it does. This one does it automatically. It just shows it's ready. You take your hands off the wheel, and it's just doing
no
it.
way.
It's
Full
incredible.
self-driving, and
That
it
is
does
cool.
it so well.
And so when I had the 7, I couldn't figure out how to do it. I really couldn't. Like I don't
'Cause
get.
it was
Like, I
already
take
doing
my
it.
hands off, and then it starts, and I put my hand back on, and it goes away. I don't get it. And it hit me this time. Like no, that's what it is. Just let Jesus take the wheel. Let Bavarian Jesus handle it, and he will.
Yeah.
It's so good.
yeah.
I think the i4 I had was the first car I had that did it. Mm-hmm. And it was the same thing. Like, you'd put it into a different mode,
Yeah.
and it worked. Like, honestly, that was one of my favorite EVs because it just did all of that stuff well, and it was priced appropriately.
By a mile, it's the best EV.
Yeah. As long as you don't look at
Yo,
it.
BMW, what you saying?
So the X7 actually got mad at me for taking my hands off the wheel.
Well, you can't do it above a certain speed.
Wait, yes you can.
No, you were.
The drive plus thing?
Yes, you can. Literally at any speed. When it says drive assist ready, you take your hands off the wheel and it's Gucci.
Right, but
Yeah, I
did it
was
say
thinking
drive
it-
assist ready?
Yeah.
Oh, strange.
Sometimes, like, if you're going through a construction zone or whatever, it'll, like, chirp you to put your hands back on for a minute.
Yeah, like it'll tell you for a second, like, hey,
Okay.
I'm uncomfortable. Get your hands back on the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll say drive assist ready,
Okay.
and then you go back to not doing that.
Fair enough.
Keep it down on your toes.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it also lane centers really well. It turns
It
very
does.
naturally. It does.
Yeah, it does.
Because some are kind of like, it's weird,
robotic,
right?
Yeah. It parks,
What was that
itself,
again?
it parks itself really well.
Yeah, it doesn't like slam the brakes when someone changes lanes in front of you in a perfectly normal fashion. Like I think it's by far like the most natural self-driving system, or like even adaptive cruisy kind of system.
Nice.
It's just
It works really well. Yeah.
really good. And like you brought this up, and I posted a video of this. Like the fact that it's able to remember like a parking path. So like I have a really long driveway, so I can like at the beginning of the week, I pulled up to my driveway, hit record path, backed up, save path, and then for the rest of the week I would just pull up in front of my driveway and it would just back itself 60 feet up into my parking spot. That's
awesome.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, because I like
That's
pointed
cool.
that out to Nathan. I was like, "Yo, you ever notice like?"
Yeah.
And like, it's not just new BMWs. That like the 19X5 that we had.
Yeah.
Did the same thing, and it
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, like this is actually really cool tech that no one like. I bet you no one knows exists.
Yeah.
But like, you just tell it to do something once,
Yeah.
and it will remember it. Every single time you get to that GPS waypoint, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like, hey, do you want to do this? Yeah, I do.
yeah,
It's incredible.
That's awesome.
And like, I can't remember if I brought this up on air, but you remember you chirped me about this when we had the Range Rover a while ago. It was like, yo, try the self-parking. I'm like, no, I'm good. And you're like, no. Someone tried really hard
Yeah,
for a
someone
very long
engineered
time.
that,
This is
yeah.
somebody's life's work to make this a thing that works well for you.
right."
Try it.
And that's the thing. Most of those systems actually work. Okay, the modern ones. I'll preface this.
Yeah.
Work really well. Like the BMWs obviously work really well because they show you what they're doing, and I think that's a big thing. Like knowing what the system is doing is kind of like a
Yeah.
it definitely
level
puts your
of
mind at ease,
comfort.
right? Like
Yeah.
it will do like the whole quote unquote augmented reality thing pretty well, where it'll show you like I'm aiming for this spot, this is how I'm going.
Mhm.
I don't know a lot of other systems that do it that well with like the whole augmented reality thing, but they all park themselves pretty well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like some engineer spent a lot of time designing it.
And
I
no
think we
one
should
uses
appreciate
it.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No, I don't. Like
Yeah.
we
I
talked
didn't-
about this
I
on
didn't.
one of the
every
episodes
press
where
car
it's
I
like,
get,
have you
if it
done
has
self-park?
self-parking,
I will admit, ever since
That conversation?
that conversation where I have been reminded that someone worked very hard on these features, I now make a point to actually take advantage of these features.
I was going to spend the
Yeah.
first half
So
of this
thank
podcast
you, Rush, for making
saying,
me a better person.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This first half of the podcast saying all these features are dumb. People just make simple cars, but also the self-parking, the X7 works.
Yeah. This is
It's more content.
No, okay, wait. Oh, you try that?
I thought you liked more
you try that little
content.
feature where it just parks itself on the path? Yeah. That's sick.
It's
No,
so cool. If
but
my
what
next
I'm
car
saying-
doesn't have it, it's a deal breaker.
Okay.
I fucking
No.
garbage.
See,
And you
that's the
can't
thing.
win.
No,
Literally
because
can't.
it's a luxury car that you expect extra features. When your SUV costs $100,000 plus, there you go.
$157,000.
That's when you want the frills.
Yeah. But like, you want the frills to work. It has to
That
be
is the thing.
seamless.
This
That's
is
the
just
thing.
car guy logic, which is not logic.
No, but it works for
Bro,
us.
it's probably fine.
All I'm saying is like, yeah, like if someone's gone to the effort of being like, okay, this car parks itself, it should do it well.
Yeah.
Which I never understood. Like the early systems, like what was it, like the 2008 LS 460 that we tried it in, just falls like completely like flat on its face. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god. And then just
Four-wheel steering really helped those systems out a lot. A lot. They gave them a ton more flexibility.
yeah.
So wait, have you guys tried this, like parking into parking spaces or parallel parking? Or
I've never
both?
actually,
Both.
I've never tried a parallel parking, to be honest. I haven't
Oh
had the
my
balls to do
god!
it.
But someone spent so much time
Here we go
engineering
again.
that.
Yeah,
It's
but
their
someone
life's
else is
work.
waiting for me to park, and I'm not going to make them wait for the car to think about whether it wants to park or not.
Okay, so BMW also does that pretty well, where you can choose his parking spot. no, I'm kidding. But like the systems that actually let you choose the spot, like when you pull up to like it's
Oh
not like,
yeah, it'll like show you like so when you have like the cameras on, you can hit the cameras while you're like looking for your spot,
Exactly.
and you'll be like start parking
That one.
assist. That's my spot.
yeah, versus like if you're just driving along and waiting for it to pick up on a spot, I feel like those systems don't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Those systems are typically hit and miss.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The Ford one is pretty good, I always thought.
Yeah? I haven't tried that one.
My first press car, the Escape PHEV, actually had it, and it worked well.
Really?
It's funny because I tried Ford self-parking assist, also in an Escape, and it parked in my Kona garage, literally over the lines.
I was like, close enough. You have to upgrade to the Lincoln.
There you go.
Yeah, if you want the good shit.
Oh, sorry, you wanted to be in the spot? Yeah, my bad.
We hired a way better guy to design it on the Lincoln. We fired Tim.
Oh, poor Tim.
So Nathan, what was the second ZF8 product you drove?
Right, so while you took the X7 from me, I went to Mopar and picked up the final edition Chrysler 300C. For its last run for 2023, they're making, I think it's 2,000 for the US and 200 for Canada. It's the new style 300 body. I don't know why I say new style, because we all think of the old one, right?
Yeah.
It's
I think it's the same since pretty much its inception.
It's like barely,
been facelifted a little.
Well, no, because there was the first shape from like 05 to like 14.
Yeah,
which
by the way,
help me out.
12.
Okay,
By the
yeah.
way,
yeah.
I think still looks good.
Looks great.
Yes.
I don't know
It
what's
has
up with it.
presence.
Yeah,
like
they nailed it, especially the
cool.
SRT. That looks
Oh
real
wow,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, but then the new shape came out in 14. That was featured so famously by Walter White.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that was a V6, yeah.
No, it's
It had a V8 motor.
SRT8.
Oh, okay, nice.
Those are the 6.1s back then.
6.1. Anyway,
6.1 in the new shape?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, for this final run of cars, they resurrected the 300C name, because C has been dead since the new shape. And they put the 392 out of the Challenger and Chargers in it. And with the same ridiculous stonking exhaust system, and the same adaptive suspension, and the same locking diff, and the same skinny tires, and I absolutely adored it.
I am floored that you enjoyed it, considering your feelings with regards to the Chally that we had a few weeks ago.
I thought,
hang on. Is that a fate you said?
E.
Oh,
That-
there
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
why. That's why.
Yeah.
Save the manuals
Yep.
unless it's a ZF8. My biggest problem with the Challenger is that it fell into this uncanny valley of like being a little too close. So like it has the manual, but and I appreciate that it's there, but it's not quite enough. And because it's not quite direct enough because of its response issues, I just don't want it there at all. And I still maintain, even though you guys argue with me about this, that like steering feel and like the brake pedal feel on the ZF8s is way tighter. Like way tighter. Steering is probably in my head. That might be a Charger versus Challenger thing, but like the brake pedal feel, I swear to God, is way tighter in the ZF8 cars.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I thought on the Chally it was like crazy overboosted. And in the Charger Hellcat we had, which I drove back to back, it felt a lot stiffer.
Stiffer. I don't know.
One thing the only thing I didn't like about the 300C was that it didn't have a floppy knob. It has the dial instead of like a shifter thing.
Oh, no floppy knob.
No floppy knob.
Sad.
You can't play with your knob while you drive.
No floppy knob and an absolutely useless back seat. It has the panel.
Really?
It has a panel roof, which looks great. It goes a long way towards removing the claustrophobia from the cabin.
No headroom.
Absolutely zero headroom.
Really?
Wait, so does the panel? Sorry, does it open up?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Because a lot of these cars have just like a fixed glass roof.
Yeah, no, it opens and it opens directly into the rear seat.
Yeah. See, that's the issue, right? Because like if you have a fixed glass roof, like it's actually not bad. Like, fixes the claustrophobia issue pretty well, and then also like you can like move the roof line up a couple inches so that it actually like feels feels
like
spacious.
there is a cutout for heads. Like if you're sitting in it with good posture with your back straight, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But when I was trying to take pictures, I cracked my skull on it a few times. Anyway, outside of those grievances, it was one of my favorite press cars this year, and I would like to purchase one. It's amazing.
You liked it that much.
I liked it that much.
I've never known someone to like a car so much that they purchased it. Oh wait. Yeah.
Literally.
Okay, so like for me personally, I've always had like a thing for just like big, fast, semi-stealthy sedans. Like I always have.
Yeah.
Like anytime playing a video game growing up, it was always like whatever the detective car is. I want that one.
Yeah.
Like that's the cool shit. This looks like that, and it sounds like NASCAR because 392 exhaust system is amazing. Like there's no changes. It's not subtler. It's not any quieter. It fires up just like a Challenger, and it's just as obnoxious.
That
and
is
it's
super
fucking
cool.
glorious.
Can we get a sound clip? like an accurate representation of the exhaust note?
Do the roar.
Do it.
Do I have to do this on mic?
Yes.
Are you gonna like dub over with like actual sounds later?
No.
No. Do the roar. Okay. So question.
Yeah.
Who's gonna buy this thing? People that
Nathan.
are really into. Okay.
Well, the thing is, it is a limited run, so like you can kind of count on it to sort of hold some value.
Still, who's gonna look at a 300C and be like,
Bro, it's a Chrysler Final Edition. It's a like
You
peak
think
boomer
so?
tax. Yes.
Boomer tax. See, that's the thing. But do any
Yeah.
boomers like the 300C? Or
I
the
just
300
feel like
in
it's too
general?
rental
No.
car market to hold value. Like it's
No,
just
man,
too...
it still looks gangster. It's a nice place to sit. Granted, a tiny bit dated, but a nice place to sit. Comfy chairs. You connect 4. I think they're on 8 now, but you connect 4 still works really well. It still works. But the thing is, like, because it's an older platform, because it's based on a fucking 90s Mercedes with a like
Truck, yeah.
with a neoclassic like modern truck engine.
Really selling me here, buddy.
And a Challenger exhaust
you're
system.
making the case for
it just
sure.
hits all the right notes of like it has that like the touchy feeliness that I appreciate in a car that the Lexus IS500 did, where like it's not trying to be BMW race car. It's not trying to be like
It's not trying to be good.
it's
It's
not.
It's trying to just be like
But
really
it's,
cool
it's just
and
trying
exciting.
to it's just trying to be its own thing. It's relaxed.
You know what that
it's
kind of-
fun. It's connected. It feels organic. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing. BMW, as much as we like them, they definitely feel artificial.
That's
You can agree with me on this.
I got you.
What's
They
it worth?
definitely
What's
feel
it worth?
artificial. 76 grand.
so,
That's actually not that bad for what you're getting.
That is
though.
15 grand less than the Challenger I had that drove worse.
alas, that is also the $76,000 question for that kind of money, which you also fell head over heels in love with the IS500. For
I definitely have a type.
let's call it 80 grand. Between those two, which one are you taking?
I don't know.
M340. No, I'm kidding.
An M340 is like 85 is the thing. And you're down 100
Yeah.
horsepower.
But also,
on
like,
paper.
you know,
And
like
two
the way
fewer
you
cylinders.
describe that, like 300C, it's like truck suspension,
No, truck
sorry,
engine.
truck engine, old Mercedes suspension, and
Yeah, but
a
old
cool
Mercedes
exhaust system.
suspension is really good.
It sounds like
Yes.
someone's like project car.
Yeah, but it's a cool project car.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of neat. Like, it's built for a certain
It-
market.
it's a
where
factory. It's a factory like resto mod kind of thing.
That's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to build something really cool. Well, you spend 76 grand and go out and buy it, and it's going to cost you less money anyways. Like, I can kind of see the appeal of that because
Yeah.
I was first thinking like, okay, if it's like I have an old M5, and like the appeal of old M5s is that you can drive them, you know, not crazy, and they'll
Yeah.
be like a normal car, and then like when you step on them, it's like, okay,
Right.
this
It's
is
fun, yeah.
exciting. Versus like this thing sounds like it's kind of, you know, exciting all the time with its like loud exhaust and whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess the whole idea is that like if you were to buy a sedan and then, you know, quote unquote soup it up,
Yeah.
this is kind of what you do
It would
to
do
it
that
anyways.
anyway, yeah. And the thing is, right, like when you're like just putzing around town, like it's not obnoxious, but it's definitely like
There.
V8 loud.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
it sounds like, you know, Charger with Flowmasters on it. Like
Right.
it's that like big American
Kind of
burble.
respect it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And for 76 grand, like that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but for what you're getting, not
Especially
really.
like in this market, like I don't know what else I'd rather have.
Well,
and
the
I've been
IS500.
between the IS500 and this is the problem. Between the two cars, the IS500 by hands down like a much. I don't even know if it's a better vehicle. Like okay,
Wow.
No, it's not.
Prob-
It's just as dated.
it's just as dated. Maybe a tiny bit less.
I feel like it's
Maybe a
not as
tiny bit
exciting
less.
though. Like
It's-
I feel like the IS500 never excited me.
It's
Arguably better looking.
The
arguable.
300?
They're very different,
I don't
right?
know.
The 300,
I don't know.
the 300 looks like a vault. It's very angular. It's very like classic, like
Yeah.
slab-sided proportions, and I love that
But
shit.
like, okay, when you showed me what it looked like, I was like, damn, I'm in. Like that
Yeah,
thing looks
it's gangster
super
as
cool.
fuck,
Yeah.
right? Whereas the IS500, as much as I enjoy the IS shape and how like sculpted and voluptuous it is, it looks just like an IS350.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, it's
Looks
not
like someone's
different
grandma's
enough.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could use the same argument with a 300.
100%
You could
I could.
Like,
That's the
like,
thing,
It
like-
looks the same as the 300 that you'd get off the Enterprise
This is the
lot.
thing. So I spent the whole weekend like, yo, this car is gangster as fuck. I'm super in love with it. No. I actually went out for a drive. I went out for a drive on my own, not for social reasons, not to meet anybody, not to go do anything. I went out for a point A to A 4-hour drive in that car. I haven't done that in a long time. I had the best time ever. I fucking love that car. But I took it to Brampton.
Oh boy!
And everybody else loved that car.
Where I saw like 80 other 300s.
But they're all V6s, yeah.
No other Cs, but 80 other 300s.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, like it's a little less. There's still like I had that feather in my cap. Like no, mine sounds badass. Mine is one of actually only 2,200 manufactured.
Oh my god, is this the modern day Corvettes? Like my Corvette is best Corvette.
My 300 is best 300. But it's but it was though. It actually empirically was.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's for a certain demographic, right? Like honestly, like if you buy a fast 300, it's not because like you want to be flash and you want everyone to know. It's because you really enjoy.
Yeah, it's because you thought it was sick.
A fast sedan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And the thing is, like, even like
I don't know. Do you? It's such a goes back to the question you were asking. Like, who buys this?
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're only making 200, so they don't have to find that many people.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
would buy it, that or the IS500. Between the two, I'd have to revisit the IS500, honestly. That's why I asked if it was still on the fleet. Like,
Yeah.
I need one.
That's the weirdest thing. Like, I think I'm the only one at Double Clutch that the IS500 does absolutely nothing for me.
No, you're not the only one. Addy didn't like it.
He didn't like it so much that he bought one and sold it.
well,
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Like, immediately. Because he was like, this
Sold
thing
it immediately.
sucks.
Yeah. So you're not the only one.
Because, like, the interior... Okay, like, the engine... Like, okay, here's the thing.
Choose your words carefully, my friend.
The engine... Everyone raves about this thing because it's like, oh my god, naturally aspirated V8. And? Like, it just feels like, meh.
Naturally aspirated V8.
But it doesn't sound special. It sounds like Gran Turismo.
It literally does.
Dude, it just sounds artificial. It just sounds like someone like was like, this is how a V8 should sound, right? Like, I don't know, man.
I kind of get what he's saying. As much as I adored the IS500, I get what he's saying. But that's also because the sound augmentation is turned on by default. There's like between
okay, but by default, when I get into a car and that's how it sounds, that is my representation.
But
of
it's
the
a
car.
hard physical switch you can turn off and keep off all the time.
Sure. But then it's quiet and boring.
I get
really for the augmented sound. There's like a hard switch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, so the augmented sound comes through the speakers.
That's impressive.
So your car sounds so crap, you gotta make noise come through the speakers because the V8 is so boring and it's just whatever.
No, that's just like Asian car manufacturers all do that. Like I think
Now
they
you're making
literally all
excuses.
do. Okay, but either way, I was going to agree with you because I think like at like around town speeds, IS500 sounds great. It sounds like a low V8 and it sounds good.
But when you rev it out, there's nothing.
At the higher end, I think it sounds really good because it's got that like acoustically tuned higher pitch like sexiness. In the middle, it kind of sucks.
But the middle is where you're gonna be driving it a lot.
Problem. You're right.
Versus like the 392, like that engine is just like so funny.
Yeah. It just sounds amazing all the time, and it's so obnoxious and dumb and torquey. I fucking love that car.
That's the thing. And I don't think I saw you rave about the IS500 like that. Like, I know you said, oh my god, I want one. But like, not, I want one, I spent 4 hours driving around for fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this 300C broke Nathan. Like,
and the thing is, they drive similarly. The IS500 is lighter and a little more flickable, but because the 300C is just old Mercedes, the language I speak, but with more torque and a limited slip diff and skinny tires, so it's actually super playful and sideways and like it's not objectively fast. An M340i would blow its fucking doors off.
You have more fun.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun in it.
Interesting.
I adored that car.
The IS500 sucks.
I'll make sure. I'll make sure to rent one from Enterprise.
Yo, that's not very nice.
You know, I didn't get to spend spend any time with this 300C because Nathan hogged it the entire time.
I freaking adored it.
He did. My schedule didn't work out.
He adored it.
But it made me wonder at some point, like when I think of the 300, let me backtrack. When I think of the 2000s in terms of the automotive landscape, I think the first car that comes to mind is the Chrysler 300. Is there anything else that's just as iconic for the 2000s as the 300?
That is a very good question. I am just filling air because I don't know how to answer that.
An Escalade?
What did you just say?
More iconic vehicle for like the early 2000s than a Chrysler 300.
What encapsulates the...
Or approximately as.
Yeah. Why did you not give us this question before? Because I'm completely blanking. Dude.
The 300's a great answer.
Why don't you give me one? I'm looking at you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, what do you think? Let's get this ball. Okay, so there's the 300 twins, the Challenger and the Charger.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's not really
the first retro Mustang.
I was
the
just
05
about
Mustang,
to say,
yeah.
yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That was...
And they're all gone off the road now. Mm-hmm. You ever notice that? They're just disappeared.
It's because all...
wrapped around trees. Wrapped around gas stations.
Here's a question that's a little out of left field. PT Cruiser?
Oh.
Yeah. That's a car.
Okay,
that's
so hang on.
car.
So what
That's
we
a
just
car.
realized,
It was an icon.
it's the whole
it
retro
was.
wave of old but new.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Volkswagen started
The
it.
PT Cruiser had its moment. It was
New
this...
Beetle.
Yeah.
New Mini.
Yeah. New Mini. New
Mini.
Mini's a big icon,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
God, I love minis.
The new Mini is like one of the only cars I can think of where like every single person in the journalistic press was like, "Yep, this is great." Every
Minis
single
are just
one.
so good.
Yeah.
They're just cool, yeah.
Reliability, no, but looks and fun.
They're also
yes.
made by BMW, right?
No, let's just not talk about that.
Okay.
No, the modern ones are quite good though.
Yeah, okay.
Teething pains.
It was a Chrysler engine.
Blame them, yeah. No, hang on. But you liked the Chrysler recently, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's all fine.
they're fine. I like those. They're good cars. I've actually never driven one.
A PT Cruiser,
No, like an
an old Mini, like
Like-
an R56 Mini, or
yeah,
whatever.
like an early new Mini.
They're pretty good actually.
I've heard they're fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
I've
what I
only
was just
driven
talking
the
about like 40 seconds ago.
F56.
Those are pretty good too.
Yeah. But the R56 is the generation before, right?
That's the
Where it's a lot lighter.
R50.
No,
50 is the
R50,
R50 and the
R53.
Yeah.
were like the first
Right.
body.
Yeah.
And then like the second one after that was R56.
Yeah, and
which
they
is
went to
one
like
of the-
Peugeot engines, I think.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
a lot of people had those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I actually got to drive
Yeah.
a couple, and I was like, wow, this is actually like pretty neat.
I don't know. I had a John Cooper Works F56, and I had a ton of fun in it. With that, it had
Did
like
you?
a
You were
yeah.
cool. Oh my god, I didn't know this.
I even had a JB4 Stage 1 tune on it.
Ooh.
That thing was fun.
Why'd you get rid of this thing?
That thing was fun.
Because you had a JB4 on it, it was going to blow up.
Commitment issues. No, it was the kid was coming, so we went to the GTI.
Yeah, you know that's fair.
Yeah.
And then you immediately got rid of the GTI
Then
for something
GTI,
better.
Yeah, for the Integra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Integra's cool.
Integra's rad.
Yeah. Great family car.
It also
Yeah.
looks cool. Like I don't know. I saw it out in the parking lot today. I was obviously chirping Imran because that's my job. But like I was like, damn, that's a nice looking
Yeah, the
car.
thing looked great.
Yeah, it
Like
does.
it's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, and practical.
Like good value. It's collector-y. So like you can feel pretty good about resale.
Yeah, I guess. Not things I think about because I'm financially illiterate, so...
Of course not. But
Yeah.
like
Well, it won't
but
depreciate
it's a
as
thing.
quickly as other cars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a regular series production thing that's going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little special, right?
Yeah, it's special. It looks special. It drives pretty special. Like, good car.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'd like to circle back, though, because I feel like Nathan avoided answering this question.
What's
300C or IS 500?
300C, man. He already answered. I'll answer for Nathan
I
because
feel
I
like
know
he-
him.
No
feel-
cop outs.
I feel like
cop out.
because
You need to pick one.
for months on end, he's been talking about how good the
I
IS is.
know.
Like,
It
and
is
now
very good.
I think
Look,
he feels like he's about to
listen,
cheat on his girlfriend.
I'm
But like he
I'm about
wants
to
to
go
say
there, right?
300C.
So the IS 500 is that abusive girlfriend that treated him like the first 6 months of the relationship was fantastic.
Also, like, 8 of you guys teeth that thing from me. I only had it for like 2 nights in the week that I had it. Whereas
Right.
with the 300, it was just like a beautiful, romantic, bittersweet tryst.
So you had it
from
for 2
Friday
nights.
night. Like, I had to return that thing by 8 a.m. Monday morning. I dropped it off at 7:59. Like, I really.
Nathan's having this.
You
I
had it for
didn't.
just as long as the IS 500.
Yeah, and I spent a ton more time driving it because I fucking
Because he
adored
really
it.
likes it.
And
Yeah.
it felt
He
great. and it
didn't
sounded
know
great, and
that
it was
Cupid
dumb.
could strike twice. This is
guess
this
not.
is the
Yeah.
problem that he's
It's so
dealing with
good.
right
It's
now.
really good. I
I think he's made up his mind.
It's you know what it was crazy bittersweet because honestly like I didn't even want the assignment. I didn't care.
Like the 300.
Like
yeah.
like you and Adi are way more hard for the 300 than I ever was, and like I already had a ton of stuff to do. But like, okay, fine, I guess I'll take this damn thing.
Yeah.
Like I've already driven like we talked about ad nauseum on this podcast, like the 2 other Mopars, the Challenger and the Charger. It's like I get it. It's gonna be the cool engine with the better gearbox. Like it's probably gonna be pretty good, but whatever, fine. I was not expecting to have the emotional response that I did to this thing, and I am so. It's very bittersweet that I got to finally experience this thing as it's time to die.
Yeah.
Like it feels like.
But they've done the best with the last version of it.
They really did. And it feels like one of those so many love songs about like a romance that's short term and super passionate by necessity. Like, okay, I got to go back to reality now.
Yep.
this has to end. Like,
I think if you own the 392 though, the 300C, you'd probably wrap around like 8 fires or
every tree.
Yeah, every tree on the way to every gas station.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a reason they only gave it to you for so long.
Yeah.
So definitely
It'd be
300C
that.
because the IS500 is a bad car.
You know what? Like I know
Clearly.
like the IS500 is the one I'd rather take home to mom, but like I'd rather live with the 300C.
Okay.
Because the IS500 is a bad car.
All right.
No, it's a
man.
wonderful car.
That's terrible.
This is a really tough decision. Also, I like the IS500 comes with a red interior. The 300C is like only black interior.
I was actually surprised
and
by that.
white, black, and red paint. That's it. That's
Yeah,
all
I was surprised by the lack of customization.
Keep it
with
simple,
that.
stupid.
Yeah, and it does. And you know what? I'm like, as much as I chirp OEMs are like black cars, black wheels, black interior, everything black.
It works on 300.
No,
That's how I spec mine.
They put the best. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like they put the best engine in it. They're like, okay, black paint, black, white, red. What do you want?
And like it's gloss black. Like that's it. Just plain jet black. That's it. Like it.
No metallic. No frills.
The only thing I would do, I'd like send the wheels out to get machined, so they're just like a little bit of pop.
Okay.
And
she's already speccing how he would have his. So
You're
you know
already
what?
modifying it.
There you go.
There's your answer.
I actually want the press car. Just give it back to me.
If you guys could see Nathan's face right now, it's like a kid fell in love for the first time.
He's beat red.
Okay, here's the
Like,
thing. Like this is an emotion I haven't felt in some time. I'm infatuated.
Love.
I love that car.
True.
You really do
love.
wear your heart. You really do wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah, I love that car.
Good to know.
And on that bombshell, thank you all for joining us in the studio, and thank you all for tuning in. You can keep tabs on our adventure at DoubleClutch.ca on socials. Nathan, Imran, Rush, thanks for stopping by the studio today.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.